Good morning, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this morning for this triple play IP digital signage overview with JPro. My name's Quentin. Most of you know me. I will throw my ugly face up on the screen for just a moment, just so that everybody can see that I am actually here. Morning, everybody. I hope everybody is safe and well, given the current climate, and appreciate that you could all join us remotely for a bit of a session overview of Triple Play and the platform and the capability that it has is advanced and powerful, and really look forward to taking you through a little bit of what I know. We will go through some of the features that I think, as a whole, make Triple Play a very appealing platform, a very agnostic and a very flexible platform as well. We do have a Q&A session as well. You will have that on the top right of your display. So if you've got any questions, please drop your questions there, and I'll answer the questions that I can at the end of this. Otherwise, I will certainly seek for those that I can't answer, seek the answers for you from the guys at Triple Play. So here at JPro, I do have a little bit of equipment set up today to demonstrate to you all. So I do have a signage player. You can see that behind me over here, and a hospitality display on the other side of me here as well. So going to attempt to do a demonstration, a practical demonstration of some of the functions of Triple Play and some of the capabilities of Triple Play as well. So, without further ado, we'll kick into it. And like I said, if you've got any questions, drop them in the Q&A, and we'll get to those at the end of the session. Introduction to Triple Play. I'm sure a lot of you now have been introduced to Triple Play and the platform as a whole, and have some visibility and some awareness of some of the capability that it has. So Triple Play is a content management platform, content delivery platform, catering digital signage, IPTV, very agnostic in terms of the devices that it supports, and very in terms of input sources and the output destinations. So what I mean by agnostic is that in terms of our digital signage displays, we are capable of sending digital signage directly to system-on-chip displays. So that's a smart screen from the likes of Samsung and LG. We can send the digital signage from the Triple Play platform directly to the TV without having to have a set-top box plugged into the HDMI port on it. So at the heart of the Triple Play platform, there is HP servers. So your HP server is the platform for Triple Play that they have chosen through years of testing, and they've consolidated down to models of server that we know to be reliable and work in the field. So it is an enterprise platform. So everything from IPTV to digital signage, through to watching video from my mobile device on my laptop, it's all served, or it's all ingested through the one central platform. So whereas other platforms have a myriad or multiple boxes to ingest content and then to transport content out over it, the Triple Play platform is one platform. It's software based. Triple Play is a very agile company in terms of catering to the market's needs. Because it is software, they are able to quickly change and adapt to what the market needs as well. Writing new plugins, new applications. Each of the features within Triple Play acts as an application within the platform. So the platform is all served up as essentially as a web interface. To put it very simply, we are serving web content to devices, and we have web management to it from devices like my laptop that I'm sitting in front of, or management of the platform from mobile devices that I can view HTML with. So we can manage the platform from essentially any location on the globe. So as an administrator, it makes it a very flexible, very powerful platform in order to manage and keep tabs on. So we have the ability to ingest sources from a variety of video feeds and data feeds. Third-party integration. So if you want to trigger something, say like a fire trip, from a third-party control system that triggers all of the displays to change what they're displaying and direct your visitors, direct your guests to an exit, then we can trigger those sorts of events from a third-party control platform. There is an extensible API available for integration with all the major integration companies. So digital signage side of things, we can deliver from that one platform digital signage with video, whether that be video as a unicast or video as a multicast like live TV. We can deliver that to a digital signage display with say a 16:9 window with your video, and then wrapped with digital signage as well. The ability to change those channels on the fly in there makes it very powerful. And IPTV and streaming. We can stream to mobile devices, laptops, tablets, phones, even Citrix Thin clients as well, and hospitality IPTV portals via either hospitality TVs with built-in smart capabilities like the one behind me, or to set-top boxes. So if you have a requirement for an IPTV platform, but you've already got the TVs, you've invested in those, then set-top boxes are an option there as well. So it's just a little bit of an overview of the Tripleplay platform. So we'll have a look at the IP television to start with. So we'll go through each of the areas of Tripleplay, starting with IPTV, and then moving on to digital signage and some other stuff. So in-room digital signage, in-room and signage display options. So I mentioned that Tripleplay was very agnostic in terms of the displays that we can output to. So the guys at Tripleplay have spent a very long time developing the integration with the major manufacturers, Samsung, Smart Screens, Philips, LG, WebOS. So essentially, we can deliver either digital signage or IPTV directly to the display, like I said before, without having to have a set-top box attached to that screen as well. What that means for an end user is the cost of deployment is reduced. It can be reduced significantly if they are rolling out a completely new deployment, so new screens, a new IPTV digital signage platform, versus having to buy displays and then buy set-top boxes there as well. You've got 2 power outlets potentially there. You may need multiple data outlets. So there's it's not just the hardware that you're purchasing; it's also the infrastructure that supports those devices as well that you've got to take into consideration. So Samsung have displays in hospitality and in digital signage. So we can give a guest a complete experience in terms of I go into my hotel room, I turn on my TV, and I'm given a nice warm welcome message, and then I can watch TV, watch a movie on demand, and so forth. Their digital signage displays, the SP displays, allow us to do some very elaborate digital signage deployments. LG displays, again, WebOS there in the pro-centric displays allow us to do hospitality and digital signage with their displays. The Philips Android displays, we can natively provide a IPTV portal guest experience and hospitality displays with those. So if TVs aren't an option, then there are set-top box options there as well. So Tripleplay has recently, within the last 12 months, announced and delivered their own digital signage and IPTV portal players. So we've got the Player P1 and the Player SP1. So the Player P1 is an IPTV portal only. So that can be deployed in a hospitality situation or anywhere that needs just an IPTV portal at a display. The Player 3 SP1 is their digital signage, 4K digital signage player. It is an OEM manufactured device. It is PoE as well, and it integrates beautifully with Tripleplay. Going back, we still support the Amino H150 set-top boxes, which are essentially a PoE HDMI set-top box, and had been sort of predominantly one of the preferred options for a set-top box. Bright sign players, so support for bright sign in there as well. If you need to do some advanced signage, like multiple video feeds, doing some interactive digital signage, there is an advanced signage NUC player. So that's essentially, it's an Intel NUC with a Linux image on it that allows us to do some advanced signage as well. Bluefin touch monitors. So Mimo, for instance, they do a small touch monitor with a bright sign player built into it. So you could have a kiosk with that Mimo monitor with a bright sign player in there, delivering up some wayfinding. Delivering up, not wayfinding. Some well, it could be wayfinding if it's really basic, but delivering up some signage content. So IPTV ingestion. So how do we get content into the platform? So as I mentioned, it's HP server hardware. So we have a variety of models. There's the ML110, the DL20, the ML350, and the DL380 are the servers that Tripleplay have standardized on. In terms of getting video into those, we can take video on a variety of mediums, so digital video broadcast over terrestrial, so free to air in New Zealand with Freeview, so we can do Freeview HD, DVB-S, so satellite free to air. So if you're in an area where terrestrial television isn't possible, then we can do satellite free to air there as well in standard definition in free to air in New Zealand. DVB-S CI, so we have the ability to ingest Sky TV into the server. There are some requirements around how we do that and the number of channels that can be supported on a per interface basis, which I'll explain a little bit more later on. But we can take satellite pay TV, so Sky TV, and deliver that around an environment. Sources like analog, SD, and HD in there. HDMI, so if you've got set-top boxes at the head end to plug, you can plug those directly into the platform. SD, SDI, 3G, HD, SDI there as well. ASI. So if we're in, the 3G, HD, SDI, if you're in a broadcast environment, you want to take some broadcast feeds in there, we have that capability too. But we can also take IP multicast feeds. So if there's another platform or if there are IP multicast feeds available on our network to us, we can take those IP multicast feeds and we can essentially let the endpoints know that, hey, there's some multicast video here. Also HD encoders, so Tripleplay down on the bottom right of this slide, you can see an HD encoder there. Tripleplay have a low latency H.264 dual HD encoder. So if you need to take a source somewhere in your environment and get that onto the network as a multicast video feed, then we have that encoder option there available too. And finally, IP cameras and AM/FM radio as IPTV channels there too. So the way that these feeds are ingested into the server is that there are tuner cards. You'll see a little red card down the bottom there. So there are a variety of tuner adapter cards that are inserted into the physical HP servers, and then the feeds, whether it be satellite or terrestrial, are connected physically to those cards. So HDMI, you've got an HDMI quad card, so 4 inputs in it, and you plug your HDMI sources in there, and then they're available to any of our endpoints as well. So I'm going to do a little bit of switching back and forth between PowerPoint and the Tripleplay server, as I don't want to bore you completely with PowerPoint. So just before we carry on with this particular slide here, I'll just flick over to the dashboard over here, and this is the Tripleplay dashboard. This is a server head end, and this is essentially, as administrator, what you would see the whole environment, the whole platform. And I just wanted to simply go over to the Triple TV IP television over here, down the bottom left here. Let's click on that there. And this is just showing some of the adapters that I have within my server. Okay, so in the office here at JPro, we have a satellite on the roof here, and I have a satellite tuner card here. So I'm tuned my card in for free to air for Freeview there. And I'm getting TVNZ there as well. The great thing about this platform is it's really easy to be able to just go in and have a look and see that, hey, I've got input signal there. I can then go over to the statistics over there, and I can see the input traffic there, and I can see the input traffic, and I can see the input errors. I can see the output traffic and the output errors. So this is telling me that I've got a good feed coming in, so I can expect to have a good feed going out. And then I can see the output traffic to my network. So I'll flick back over. So the IPTV, so we are a standard compliant MPEG transport streams. So what happens with a feed when it comes in from the satellite, or if it comes in from the terrestrial, is we don't muck about with it. We simply take that format and then we stream it back out to the network as IP multicast. We can do unicast feeds as well, but in an IPTV environment, we are taking that video that comes in off the satellite, and we are simply packetizing it, sticking it onto your network as IP multicast, so they can be delivered to any display at any point on your network. So the way that IPTV, so those multicast feeds are set up is it's automatically assigned. So I choose the channels that I want from my feeds coming in on my satellites, on my terrestrial, and it'll automatically assign them to multicast addresses. So we do have the ability for some transport stream manipulation, so we can do conversions from 4:3 to 16:9. So if you want to stretch out the image there, if you do have, say, audio channels on there as well, you want to provide radio services to your guests or to people in your environment. We can mix video slides into audio only channels. Where that's useful is if you've got displays that will turn themselves off if they don't have a video sync, then we can mix video in with it, and rather than just having a screen with really essentially nothing on it, we've at least got some video slide content playing there with your radio channel there. So we can schedule as well with time-based switching there, so part-time channels. So in terms of, say, Duke, for instance, in New Zealand, play quiz slides throughout most of the day and don't start broadcasting proper content until the evening. So we can schedule times of the day for these channels to be available, or switch out for a different channel, switch out for different content there as well. The channels can be restricted so that your customers or your users can only see content that is relevant to them. In a commercial environment, you might want your staff to have everybody to have access to health and safety videos. So that's readily available to everybody. But then you might have training videos that are specific to a department, whether that's the sales department, the logistics department. That they're the only ones that need to see that. So you can restrict access to channels content there, or you can restrict content that is not not safe for kids there. So we might want to not that too many people use them anymore, but the adult only channels, we can restrict those from children's eyes, or we can offer VIP access to our guests in a hotel, so that they get all of the TV channels and they can see they can watch whatever they like there as well. So it's very customizable in terms of catering to your environment or to your customers. So we are approved for, that says Foxtel there. I should probably update this slide. So we're approved for use with Sky TV in New Zealand, and that is DRM, so the digital rights management there. So there is a requirement for the content that is delivered out over the network in terms of Sky TV for it to be encrypted. Otherwise, I can go to my laptop or my mobile device, run VLC, and I can watch Sky to my heart's content. So as the feed comes in off the satellite, it's decrypted from Sky, and then it is encrypted with accepted, approved standards. So in terms of set-top boxes, we use the secure media encryption. Samsung have their own built-in encryption with Link DRM. So if you purchase Samsung hospitality displays, for instance, then you have the encryption built into this display. It's enabled on the server. There's no additional licensing. Secure media does attract additional licensing to encrypt that and decrypt that per endpoint as well. The platform is HDCP compliant as well, so that we can safely say that we can deliver that that content from HDCP sources without breaking HDCP rules. So an on-screen interactive portal. So one of the features of Tripleplay is the ability to deliver an interactive IPTV portal that can be customized for the user's requirements, can be completely customized so that it looks completely different to what you see on the page here. There are some standard templates available, and if there is a requirement to create a completely bespoke portal, then that is available. One example of that is the Soho Hotel down in Custom Street. So the portal that you can see up on the screen here, the Valai portal, as it's called, is one of the standard portals, and the Soho Hotel chose to completely redesign or build a portal from scratch, because it's HTML content, it's CSS, it's all doable, obviously with a lot of engagement, consultation, and there is a cost to it as well. But if somebody wants to give a premium experience for their guests, then it is possible. So some of the features of the IPTV portal is PMS integration. So that's your property management system. So we can integrate with the likes of with Opera, as Oracle and Opera, which is one of the main ones that we pop up against here. So what that's doing is that's pulling through guest information, gives us the ability to display the guest's name that's pulled through from the property management system. This is, again, all through the same head end. So that guest name's pulled through, guest goes into the room. When they check in, turn the TV on, they get a nice welcome message there with their name there. But they also have the ability to get messaging to that guest. They can check their room service bill or their hotel services, so they can see what they've spent in terms of maybe video on demand or room service there as well. They can also do a checkout from their room too. So gives maximum sort of flexibility with that integration. The ability to bring your own device there as well, and bring your own content. So bring your own device. I can take my phone out and display pictures from my phone, or a video from my phone there. Or now with the Chromecast integration there, we can have a Chromecast device in the room. The guest can go to their portal on their TV, select the Chromecast, pair their device with that TV, that room, and that Chromecast device, so that they know that the content they're going to stream will go to the right display. So Tripleplay handles that negotiation, that connection between the Chromecast device and the guest's mobile device. So I'll show a little bit more on that later. Ability to utilize the smart TV apps in there as well. So a lot of these TVs, well, most TVs nowadays are smart TVs, and they've got apps built into them. Samsung displays have got apps built into them. We can allow access to those applications. Flexible delivery. So like I've said before, we can deliver to smart TVs, set-top boxes, laptops, or mobiles. So if I'm a guest in a hotel, I can take my mobile device downstairs with me and continue to watch some content there on my mobile, as long as I'm on the guest Wi-Fi. So accessing live TV from multiple sources. So I can have that portal on my laptop running what's called the MVP software, and I can view content, whether that's TV or whether that's health and safety videos, whether it's training videos on there. Access to stored movies, so video on demand is a big part of the IPTV portal experience. People nowadays, they don't consume scheduled content as much as they used to. People want the content then there, and they want control of that content as well. So we've got access to a large catalogue of films that is supplied by a third party, but it's supplied through Tripleplay. And essentially those films you see it in the theatre, a couple of months later, 2-3 months later, it comes into airline circulation, although at the moment there's not a lot of airline flight travel going on. So at that point, it typically becomes available as a movie on the Tripleplay platform or to IPTV providers. So that's months before you see those same films on Sky TV or other pay TV services. So it's up to date. Hollywood approved encryption standard. So again, the DRM, so we can encrypt the content out onto the network so that you can't watch it with a laptop device or record that content. So that you shouldn't be content that you shouldn't be watching on those platforms. I mentioned integration before, so integrating the platform sort of for full automation of lighting and air conditioning, curtains, etc. So we can do calls from the platform, from the portal, in order to control an environment in there as well. So I mentioned in-room, the flexibility of the portal design. So here's some examples of the various portals. So the latest one here in the top right is the Xenia portal. Everything's sort of modern down the left-hand side. Scroll through the menu there, access to your channels, your TV guide, entertainment, and so forth there. So there's a range of designs that are available to an establishment, so that they can have a unique feel to it. There is a portal editor within Tripleplay as well. so that they can change the images, the backgrounds on there, the colors and so forth on there. The compendium pages, they can put their own information in the compendium pages, their images in there as well. So there is some flexibility from the customer's perspective or the end user's perspective to be able to modify the portals. If they want to go advanced modification, then it is there are services which allow for that customization as well. So viewing content, so we can view content and search categories through a video on demand library. So if I flick over to another camera feed here. So behind me, I've just got my my screen set up there. It might be a little bit hard to see. I thought this was going to be a good idea, but the screen on the on my right hand side is a little bit harder to see through the video feed there. But so this screen over here, we've got the Villi portal here. So as a guest, I can go to the entertainment on there, and I can go and view movies there, and I get a nice carousel there, which I can flick through. And as a guest, now these movies, they can be chargeable, so you can charge your guests to view films. They can be set up in service groups so that we can have free movies for kids on weekends, or you can make the films completely free to guests. Now obviously you have to pay for the movie service, but it's up to it's up to you as to whether or not you charge for it. So got a nice synopsis over here, and the price is free on this particular film here. So I'm doing a video on demand session. So this is me. I have control of this video. This is no longer doing multicast. This is doing video on demand. It's a unicast session to my TV. The beauty of that is I can pause, resume, fast forward, rewind. So I have that flexibility. So the other nice thing that you can do is you can carry on watching that content on a mobile device as well. So if I want to take that film and I want to go watch it downstairs in the restaurant, keep the kids quiet while they have dinner, we have that ability too. So watching TV streams on there. So we have all your channels there. You have a EPG there as well. Really nice layout in terms of the tiled TV channels. So it's a premium experience there. So again, I'll just demonstrate that. So when we go to TV channels, we are actually doing multicast IPTV at this point. So this is coming into the office on satellite and Freeview. So this is standard definition. It is actually a lot grainier than than terrestrial and the full HD. You actually notice a significant difference. TV guide. So we have TV guide there. Get a preview window up on the top left there, and we can see the EPG for the day there. There is PVR available as well, so video recording there. So as a guest, you can record those TV channels. So you want to record the news so you can watch it later on. Can create a recording of that. The brilliant thing about that is that it creates a single recording, so we don't end up with 20 people wanting to record the news and creating 20 recordings. It records one instance of the 6 o'clock news that is held there as video on demand content for a period and then purged off of the server as well. So as I was saying, So in a commercial environment, you have the ability to create your personalized library there. So videos that are relevant to you. Well, actually in any environment, but this would be particularly useful in a corporate environment where you've got your training videos that you need to watch that are relevant to your role. So creating your own personalized library that you need to watch. We can do proof of play on that as well, so that we can ensure that you've watched the videos, so that we know you're safe to work within your environment. Information pages, so compendium pages there as well. So we have support for multiple languages in there. So the information pages can be updated through the Tripleplay portal editor. So as an end user, if an establishment should change, then I can go in and change the text. Then I can change the image that's associated with it as well. So it's pretty simple to update that as well. So we can integrate with the PMS there too. So we can order room service through the PMS. We can do bookings, restaurant bookings through there as well. That sends an email off to an email account, to a mailbox, rather than actually integrating directly with a reservation system. The smart apps on the TV. So if you if we can allow access to the smart apps on the TV as well. That is an option. Although with the smart apps that are on the TVs nowadays, everybody has 5 mobile devices. So I carry around a couple of mobiles, my laptop. My wife's got a tablet, so I typically use those apps on those devices. The property management system integration. So I mentioned Microsoft Fidelio, or I mentioned Oracle, which is essentially Microsoft Fidelio. So that the Tripleplay is very agnostic in terms of the management systems that they support there. So if it's not supported, I would be surprised. So like I said, an experience that is personalized for the guests, so that makes them feel welcome. One example of that is we had some guests stay at the show about 12 months ago now. And in terms of personalization, set up so that when the guest entered the room, it actually, and the TV came on, it actually played a welcome video that had been recorded by the GM of the hotel, which was really cool. So the integrations allow for checking out and billing through the TV, like I mentioned before, room service ordering in there as well. So Chromecast BYO content streaming. So one of the big shifts in the way that people consume content over the past couple of years has been Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Amazon Prime, YouTube, Google Now. People now consume content from so many different web sources now that I've got about 5 different subscriptions, and you sort of think about it, you pay $20 a month, it's nothing, but when you're paying for 5 of those subscriptions, it starts to add up. Nonetheless, people have those, and people want to be able to take them with them, and they want to be able to sit down when they're away, and they want to be able to watch that on a TV in a guest room, in a hotel room. And Chromecast is one of the widely used, widely accepted devices. It's very flexible, and it's support for different devices there as well. So it's kind of become a little bit of a de facto there. So Chromecast is, I've got a couple of them at home, and it just works really. So Chromecast supports thousands of applications. So hence it's it's the go-to there. So the challenge comes though in a guest going into a room, or somebody going into a room, and finding the right Chromecast device. I could have all of my Chromecast devices on a guest network. The guests connect to that guest network, and I leave it up to them to select the right Chromecast device to stream to. I put the room number on the Chromecast and name it that, and hope for the best. And then I get a call from room 203 saying that somebody's watching RedTube, and that it's playing in front of my kids. So there needs to be some management in place to make it easy for the guests, not only easy for the guests, but to secure it as well, and ensure that you can only cast to the device that is associated with your room. So Tripleplay have developed the integration with the Chromecast adapters so that the guest connects to their wireless network, the Chromecast is connected to its own wireless network, and the server, the Tripleplay head end, handles the negotiation of the session between my device and the Chromecast adapter. So on my TV, as a guest, I go to my my connections and I go to Chromecast, and what I get on the screen is I get a QR code that comes up here. So from my mobile device, from my tablet, I scan that that QR code, this pairing code here, and then the session management is all handled by the Tripleplay server. I pair with that Chromecast adapter that's attached to that display. And then when I go to my application, say YouTube or Netflix, I can see that Chromecast adapter and I can stream to that Chromecast adapter. Now, importantly, what happens when I check out is that the pairing with that device from my mobile to that Chromecast adapter, that pairing is purged. So I can't stream to that Chromecast adapter again without going back through that pairing process. Whilst I'm checked in and whilst I've paired with it, sure, I can start streaming to that Chromecast adapter, but the checkout process also purges that Chromecast session. We also see the Chromecast adapters attached to our network. So if I just flick over to my Tripleplay server here, let's go to client management here, Chromecast adapters. So I see the devices, Chromecast devices that are connected to my to my network and that are managed by my Tripleplay head end, my Tripleplay platform. So if somebody goes and steals the Chromecast adapters, then we see that that Chromecast adapter hasn't recently connected to the network. So in terms of security as well, there are major benefits in having having the Chromecast managed by Tripleplay. So digital signage. So Tripleplay's moving on from the IPTV portal, moving on to digital signage. So this again is just it's an application within the Tripleplay ecosystem. It's all managed from the same head end, so I can deliver that IPTV to that portal for that guest from the same server that is also delivering the digital signage to my displays in my foyer or on my concourse, or if I'm in a stadium, to the displays around my stadium. If I'm in a conference center, then digital signage to my displays there. So Tripleplay has a very nice, simple to use, click and drag visual editor called 3Create. So you can see an example of it there, and I'll flick over to the dashboard in a little bit. So essentially the workflow for the digital signage is I have my content, I create templates, which is where the regions, the cells in which my content will sit eventually. I then create layouts, which is taking content, templates, and then creating a layout. So I take the template and put content within those cells and save that as a layout. And then I put a selection of layouts into a playlist, and the playlist is what will play out on my player later on. and then I put my set-top boxes into display groups, and then I can assign playlists to those set-top boxes or to those digital signage displays as well. So digital signage layout creation is really straightforward, really simple to use. You've got access to all of your content over on the right-hand side. So we can also cater to those that only have very simple needs in terms of updating content. So the Quickdrop for drag and drop content updates is very straightforward for somebody that just needs to change one image once a month. You know, they don't need to log in and go through a bunch of menus to change just one image. All they need to do is update some graphics, and it happens to be in one cell once a month is their job. So it's done through Tripleplay's Quickdrop, and all of this can be managed, moderated through your head-end server. Like I said earlier, it's HTML, it's web content, it's available wherever you can get a network connection to it. So we can manage this platform from your centralized from your head office. We have a approvals process available as well, so that you have to submit your changes and it has to be approved before it actually takes effect, so that you don't accidentally publish the wrong content. So permissions and permissions-based access control plays a role in that. But that also means that I can control I can manage the display, say for instance, out in my food and beverage area, but I can't control the displays on my gaming floor. So I can create permissions so that I can have access to certain displays endpoints, but also to certain content as well. So the content that's relevant to one area but not relevant to me, I can hide that from the user. So compatibility with landscape and portrait options there. So SD, HD, 4K content, as well as we can support those formats. So completely bespoke layouts is possible there as well. So we can actually do we can do custom geometries, custom screen sizes there too. And there's an extremely wide mix of content available to the end user in terms of what's being displayed on the screen as well. So I'll flick over to, I'll just play this little animation here. It's just an example of the simplicity of creating some simple content there. So we've got a live TV channel, the BBC News, that's being introduced there. So we've got live TV that is coming off of the same head end that the digital signage is coming off. So very, very straightforward, very simple to use. So I'll jump onto the server again, and I want to demonstrate the Quickdrop. Want to demonstrate Quickdrop in a practical scenario. So I'll just flick over to my VNC here. Okay, so what I've actually got on the screen at the moment is actually a touch panel. So this is just showing a little bit of simple integration. So I'm actually controlling a set-top box, one of the Tripleplay set-top boxes. I'm controlling the layout that's currently displayed on it. I'm just going to change that over to Quickdrop poster. And I'm just going to change my feed here. So hopefully we've got a picture-in-picture coming in there. Okay, so what we've got on the screen right at the moment is I've got my set-top box image down in the bottom right-hand side there. We've got some event details coming up and book your events in there. And I might need to change that that green field that's showing there so that we've got the boss, he's coming, and tickets are selling out quickly. So so get in quick and get your tickets. So somebody needs to update just that one green box on the right-hand side there with book your event there. So it can be as simple as 3 or 4 clicks for a user to update that content. So I have this image here, almost gone. So I can provide my users with just a link on their desktop to Quickdrop. Again, this is just on the same server. I will log out here. Okay, so they get their login here. Login. Now all they have to do is drop their content into this window here. I'll just go back to my desktop. So I've got my almost gone example here. I'll just drag that back to my window and just drop it in that window there. Okay, so it'll do an auto submit in 8 seconds. I can delay it, I can submit it. So I'm just going to submit that. So that's now submitted that content, and then you can see down in the bottom right there that that content's now updated to almost gone. So any players in my environment that were showing that that content will now be updated with that. So that is real time. That has just changed. If I show you on the screen over here, you can see behind me over here, you can see that that has updated on that set-top box there now as well. So really easy for you know, for somebody that has a really basic function, just need to update one piece of content for them to be able to update that. So very powerful in its simplicity. So user management. Back to talking in general about Tripleplay, triple sign. User management, so we can control the rights to content and displays as well. So changes, you know, to be able to change content, delete it, update it. So we can control all of those rights. So I mentioned the moderation and the approvals process. So we can ensure brand standards there are maintained by having to submit that content to a moderator or to an approvals process, so that we ensure that the right content's displayed at the right time. We can run reports on that content so that we can show proof of play there. So if we're, you know, if the environment's sponsored or we've sold digital signage, real estate, we can run reports to show to the people that have purchased that digital signage real estate. We can show them a report on a monthly basis to actually say to them that, hey, look, you know, your digital, this layout with your content in it has played this many times this month as per our contract there. Show statistics on channel viewing as well. So particularly when we're reviewing pay TV as a hospitality environment is useful to see, you know, okay, so who's actually really watching the TAB channels? I mean, seriously, who does watch the TAB channel? So you can show the pay TV viewing for a period to make a decision, an educated decision on whether do I actually need those channels. A lot of the people that we've talked to about the TV channels that they have is based off of their brand standards. They have to supply these channels to their guests. But then you can hand them a piece of paper in a month's time that say, you're not actually, nobody's watching any of these channels here. Do you actually really need those channels? You could be saving yourself some money there. User auditing there as well, so we can show, you know, changes, you know, audit reports there. We can schedule those reports as well. So it's very granular. We can lock it right down, like I showed you before. We can give people access to just Quickdrop. We can lock it down so that's the only area that they can see. So if I go back to my web browser here, if I log in to the server as an administrator, I see the complete dashboard and every application that's available to me that my server has been licensed for. So displaying everything that this particular server is licensed for. If I log out of that and then I log in as my user that I created earlier, I only see what's relevant to me. So I don't get confused looking at a bunch of applications that have nothing to do with my role. So I can go to my triple sign and I can, in this case, all I have access to is a playlist. So this is my all playlist. So as a editor, all I can edit is this particular playlist here. So that can be very granular in what you give people access to. So we can integrate that with LDAP, Windows Active Directory, or you can use the built-in the built-in user accounts. So on my server with the built-in user accounts, I can go to my system configuration over here, my authentication, and my user accounts. So I've got some user accounts that I've set up here. I've got my Quentin one here. If I update that user account there, I can give them permissions from either custom permissions or from a template. So mine's from a template triple sign, or I can do custom permissions. So I can select which parts of the dashboard, the admin portal I have actual access to. So event triggers are a real selling point of Tripleplay, a real useful tool for a few different reasons. First and foremost is is fire alarms. So we can trigger events from various control sources, such as BACnet and HTML, which we use for third-party control systems. Global Cache 100 device. SNMP, so Simple Network Management Protocol, we can use that to trigger events as well, or we can just schedule things like a turn-off event. So we can schedule displays in my conference facility or my venue to turn off at at a certain time of night, and then come back on in the morning as well. So that's all handled from Tripleplay. So in terms of informing our visitors, our guests, we can instantly override whatever is being displayed on any display, any signage display, so that we instantly inform our patrons of events, whether they're emergencies or whether they're things like somebody's just won a jackpot on a pokie machine. So integration with the alarm systems is a big one. An example of some of the more bespoke or some of the more unique uses of the events. When the terror attacks occurred in the Stade de France, they actually used the Tripleplay system installed there with the police to direct people within the stadium away from where the gunmen were. So I don't want to assume that saved lives, but that's an example of where being able to immediately override what's being displayed on screens is very useful, very powerful. Another example is you've got people lined up at bar stalls around your concourse. And everybody's lined up at one of your bar stalls, and then you've got one halfway down the concourse that there's nobody standing at. So you can display on the screen that, hey, look, there's more beer down. It's more beer down that way. So direct traffic to where you want where you want them. So just as an example of some of that integration, I had that touch panel up here, which I'll bring back up again. So this is a VNC session that's actually showing a touch panel that is actually seated behind me over here. So I've got a touch panel sitting over here, and right now we've got the Quickdrop example sitting there. But I can go to that and just do a fire drill from that there. And wouldn't you know it, I try it 20 times and it works 20 times. And then I have some quirks with my build. I'll do it from the server. Oh, there we go. So now I've got a fire alarm up over there. So on my, if I go back to my content here, apologies, put my picture on here. Okay, so this is the triple event from the Tripleplay server. These are the events that I have created there. Each of these events triggers a layout change or a playlist change here at the moment. Down on the bottom right of your window, you'll see the signage player cycling through its content. And if I start on the demo fire alarm over here, that switches that signage player to the evacuation notice, and that's come up on the screen behind me over there. So the events are set up in so if I go back to my dashboard and I go triple sign over here and go to my events here. So the events, we have two forms of events available. We've got stateful events, which they're either an on state or an off state. So whilst they're in that state, they will continue to do what that event has been set up to do. So in the case of the fire alarm, that fire messaging will stay on the screen until that event is turned off. They're set in priorities as well. So if somebody gets the jackpot pokey pop-up come up and the screen's changed to that, but then there's a fire alarm, the fire alarm takes precedence and will immediately override whatever is being displayed on the screen. So you can select the priorities over on the right-hand side here. You'll see the priorities of the content there. So if I just dig into, or before I do that, so the other type of event that you have is one-shot events. So a one-shot event occurs, and that's essentially what it says that it does. It does that event. So in terms of a one-shot event, you might just want to change a playlist, change it to a different playlist. You might want to send the off command to all of your displays. So yeah, just a one-shot, does it once, that's it. So stateful events, if I just jump into one of my events here, so we'll use that demo fire alarm as the example here. So this is where we set up our events. So name, description for that. We can run an event duration there as well. So an event duration, you might use that for automated on-off of your displays. So in the case of turning the displays off at night for the evening, then we can run a stateful event that runs the display, sends the off command. You run that, and that stateful event is active for 12 hours, and then at the end of that stateful event, it returns to the previous state. So the previous state would be the on, so the displays will switch back on again, or be told to switch back on again. In the case of this one here, I'm actually running an event that's not based on a schedule or on a duration. It's just running for as long as that state's enabled, and I'm running it as a web page. So in order to, so we have the event controller, which is the control platform, control source that triggered the event. So we can click on those and we can drag the event controller across and configure it, set its configuration parameters as well. In the case of the fire one, I've done it as a web page. So I've dragged the web page over to here. So if I click on the link here, so I can get some more information on this event trigger, and I can get the link from here as well. So we can see the event here, whether it's enabled, and I can activate it. But importantly, at the top of the screen here, I can see the event key and the ID. So from a third-party control perspective, this is where I get the ID to trigger an event. So I can, from my control platform, which I had working earlier, I can touch that button on the touch panel, which triggers the fire alarm event. And what all it's doing is it's doing a call to the server, telling the server to do an event HTTP request, do this ID, and this is the key for it, and that triggers the event. So I'll just go back to that because I just didn't want to. Okay, so that's your event trigger, and then we have the event behavior. So what happens when that event is actually triggered? So we can have a variety of different events, and you can actually get to the events through triple sign, which is the digital signage. I'm in triple care here. Triple sign. Depending on the way that you go into the events, the event types change. So in triple sign, the event selections that I have differ from if I go to the events within triple care, which is the management and of the endpoints and management of my TV services and so forth. It's kind of your back end management. So the event behavior is available to me within the within triple sign. I can turn the power off on the TVs. I can set the source on the TV, set the volume on them. I can change a layout on the screen, or I can change playlists on the screen as well. So this particular fire event that I've got, if I go over to my hierarchy here, which is my hierarchy is my logical view of my environment. So the areas in my environment, the separation of them. I see that I have two players here, an SP1 and an SP12. So these are my two digital signage players. So what's happening is that over here, I've selected the triple sign layout, and I've gone to the fire event here, and then you drag that to the player, or the behavior to the player. I can drag that to a level. So if I want it to my entire JPro office, or if I want it to every office in Auckland, I can drag it to those different areas. So it's quite granular in the way that you can prescribe set those behaviors. So once you've done that, then you can hit the update there, and that sets it there. So hosted digital signage. So up until this point, I've not sort of talked about on-premise or versus hosted digital signage. So on-premise is, you deploy an HPE server on your premises. That can be a small DL ML110, sorry, or it could be, depending on the number of sources and content that you have, it could be a DL380 there, so a big enterprise level server there. So that's your on-premise solution. You have the server sitting in your server room or in your data center, and it is delivering the content out to your network. That way, it's ingesting it into it physically there. So the hosted digital signage. So Tripleplay did announce, have released a new platform, EVP, which is a hosted platform. Hosted out of a data center. Essentially, you can have the management of a physical server and housing that server all taken off your hands, and it's all managed by Tripleplay. Hosted out of a data center. And if you want to do IPTV in your environment, you can have in your premises, you can have a smaller appliance with IPTV available there, which we can address, or we can show to endpoints as well. So it does feature a lot of what's available to you on a full-blown on-premise server in terms of content there. So you can upload video to the players. We can do images there, so you can see all the content types that are available to you there. So some of the industry verticals, so that we see Tripleplay fitting into. Tripleplay, because it is very flexible, it is agnostic. There are and digital signage is everywhere nowadays, and being able to manage it from any location means that it can be used in almost any environment. So so anything from banking, enterprise, and educational and environments. We've got lecture recording on there, lecture streaming on there. If somebody's viewing video from their laptop device or their computer device, they can comment on videos. They can download documents from Tripleplay as well. So you can actually upload documents to the server that are available as sort of supplementary to a video. Maybe it's a lecture that's been recorded and somebody's uploaded some notes to that particular lecture there as well. And then so that's somebody viewing content on their screen. And then out in the hallways, you've got your digital signage displays out there, and that's all managed from one platform. The lecture recording, it's recorded through an appliance that can take multiple feeds and do a quad split, and that can be recorded to the Tripleplay server and published so that so that the students, the faculty, have access to those recordings. And then government, town hall addresses, being able to live stream, content, take an ingestion from a camera, an IPTV camera, an IP camera, or an HDMI feed, or an HD SDI feed that into the Tripleplay server, and send that content out as a live TV channel to all of your to all of your staff, to send it out to a content distribution network so that people can log into a website and watch that town hall address there, down to in the foyer having the the advertising there, and desktop video training videos available to you too. And healthcare and aged care, patient entertainment. So in terms of local deployments, there's the Waikato District Health Board and the Lakes District Health Board. Both have Tripleplay and use that for patient entertainment, and they've got a really nice way of doing it, keeping the children in the wards entertained. They've actually got movies playing as a TV channel. They've created TV channels that are age grouped by age. So 1 to 4 and 5 to 7 and so forth, and playing movies that are appropriate to those age groups on those channels. But whilst we're delivering content to patients for entertainment, it can be used for staff training. They can have their logins in there and they can watch update videos and communications on there too. The hotel and accommodation, the unique guest experience, and the very personalized guest experience there, being able to deliver the content to your device, or being able to bring your own content and having it managed in a way that make sure that the content is delivered to the right display there. I mentioned the So Hotel as one example, and the guys at Novotel out at the airport. Once we finally get through these lockdowns and back to some normality, they are deploying Tripleplay in the hotel there as well, with the Chromecast integration and Philips TVs out there. Advertising, being able to advertise in your in your restaurants and and keep that advertising fresh. I've seen digital signage displays where the content's very static and never gets updated there because it's it's difficult to update. Whereas it's one platform, it's very easy to update from Tripleplay. The maritime and mining. There's the the Spirit of Tasmania, which is the ferry between Tasmania and wherever it docks on the other side. They have a Tripleplay server on there, so that they've got TV on board the ferry, so that's available to people as they make their ferry crossings. Retail spaces, doing some basic wayfinding there, staff training there, advertising. Sports arenas, being able to deliver live streaming content out to every display within your facility there, being able to do fan engagement, being able to deliver stats to displays as well. There's stat integration so that we can show scores and player statistics, and in the case of some of the bigger football clubs in the UK, like Chelsea Football Club, they're using it for player training there as well. They've got the mobile media application and the MVP application where the players can actually go and view training videos on there, and that provides proof of play to the coaches so that they've viewed their training videos, and that might be videos on opposition, so that I need to watch this video on the guy that I'm going to be marking up against next week. So solutions for every market, and some of the clients that Tripleplay, just a few of the clients that Tripleplay have deployed solutions for, shown here. So why Tripleplay? So globally local. So it was established in 2002 out of the UK. They're headquartered in the UK in London. Recently, they've opened their office in Australia. So we have Ben Donald and Paul Dabrowski, who are domiciled in Melbourne. So spare a thought for those guys who are doing it tough and doing it tough in the Victorian lockdown over there. And in terms of distribution, so JPro acquired the distribution of Tripleplay in, I think, in February, and then and then everything started to turn crazy with COVID. We are absolutely dedicated to providing Tripleplay as a solution, and supporting our partners and deploying Tripleplay into going forward. With the guys and having the guys in Australia for support, and then having the teams, I should say, globally, means that that there is a robust support network available to Tripleplay. So I mentioned first up that Tripleplay is a software platform. It is very agile. Tripleplay are a very agile company in terms of providing solutions. They hold sessions, end user and partner sessions every year, and they're also at most major road shows. But they hold the roundtable sessions, and I had the privilege of attending one of those, and they really listen to their customers, their needs and their desires. And if somebody comes up with a good idea, then they jump on that idea, and that's put into a build going forward. So they develop for what the market asks for. It's a single platform solution. It's one server platform. All of your ingestion, all of your streaming, all of your management of devices is done from that one server. If we need more grunt, then we add another server to the solution. But it's all managed from a common interface. The ability to do full failover in critical environments. You can have a second set of redundant hardware and software, so that we can fail over to that should the main server fall down. So the downtime is the downtime isn't noticed by the operators or the people viewing the displays. Security and safety, so they adopt known safe security protocols and integrations with like I said, approved encryption and protocols there as well. It is a true IT solution. It is, it's based on Linux. It's CentOS 7 is what the platform runs on. It is software. There, they keep it up to date. They release regular updates to the platform as well. If you didn't know, if you didn't know already, the way that they name the various major builds releases is based on cartoon characters. So we're currently in Caveman 3, and since being involved with Tripleplay, I've seen several major releases there as well. So they make regular updates to the platform. So it is something that moving forward is totally supported. Things like your workflow management there, I mean, the moderation there, the workflow of the way the digital signage workflow works there. We can do video and virtualized environments. So in banks, I didn't mention in the vertical markets, in banks, we can deliver video to Citrix thin clients there as well. So we can get video to virtualized environments. Clustering and failover there, integration with data sources and things like SharePoint and web content and integration with control systems. So it is a cost-effective solution. In terms of what you bite off, you just take what you need to begin with, and then build on your requirements later as you go. So if you don't need every function, every feature, every application, you don't have to buy it all at once. We will work with you, and we'll work with Tripleplay to create a solution that fits the customer's requirements. And because it is software, it's flexible and can be added to later on in terms of the number of licenses for endpoints, or the number of ingest sources that we have there, or the integrations that we have with various external sources. They are a leader in integration. So, I mentioned I've already mentioned multiple times the integration with Samsung, LG, Philips smart TVs. The various service providers in terms of data providers that they integrate with, Daktronics, Sportscode, Prozone, Optisports. So being able to take this is being able to take data from a analytics company and being able to display it on the screen. So the Optisports stats, essentially what you see during the Super Rugby matches, and seeing the scores and seeing the player stats and things, are that sort of information. That information can be brought into Tripleplay as well from the same data sources, so that we can display out in the forecourt, we can display the statistics, we can display the score, and amongst other digital signage content there as well. integrations with electronic point of sale systems. So if we're running low on beer, then one type of beer, then we can start promoting another type of beer. So so we have the ability to show stock levels and show pricing information pulled through from EPOS systems. Room booking, being able to pull through room scheduling information and display that on a digital signage display, like on a flight board or outside of a room, being able to show the scheduling for a room for a particular day. And I mentioned the support, so they have the follow the sun support available to their customers. And local technical engineers. I've known Paul, Mr. Dabrowski in Australia for a number of years, and know that that he's he's a guy that can be relied on, and so is the rest of the Tripleplay team. So that sort of concludes the official content. I did want to show another couple of little features with Tripleplay as well. So I've spoken briefly about and showed you the dashboard. But not really spoken much in detail about it. So I'll just quickly go through this and a brief overview of this, and then into Triple Sign and then finish off with just the Q&A if anybody's got any questions there. So the way that the way that the server is split up and the applications is you'll see across the top here, you've got your user applications, and that's where the most of your end users will spend their day operating, whether it's setting up digital signage or whether or not it's working with the content management. So content management being uploading videos and images and uploading stuff that can be streamed to my device, whether it's movies, whether it's training videos on there. Triple client screen control. I can wander around an environment with a tablet device and control screens. So if I'm in a large environment with hundreds of screens, then and I want to change the volume or turn the TV off, turn it on, change a channel on it, I can do that with the screen control. The event triggers, which have already been through with the being able to change content or change the behavior of an endpoint. Triple record, I can do live capture of any of those ingest sources. So I can record, I can record a day's TV. I can record an event if it's, if I've got a feed from an HD SDI cameras, or if I can set up that scheduled recording. The Quickdrop and content upload. There is another function feature of the Quickdrop that I want to demonstrate to you now. So in terms of Quickdrop, we can drop content into the content management system through Quickdrop as well. So we can do drop a video into here, and that'll be dropped into the general category in the CMS. We can categorize it as well. NVOD, so near video on demand, so I can update a NVOD channel with some content as well. So we can do in-house channels, TV channels. So an in-house TV channel is curated video content. It can be a mixture of pre-recorded video, and it can be live video there as well. Triple sign over here. So I'm going to now demonstrate the menu boards, which this is useful in an environment where I've got maybe multiple food and beverage providers that they've got a screen that's dedicated to their kiosk, and they want to be able to update the pricing information on there, or just a simple way of being able to update the pricing on any digital signage display, regardless of who you are. So update menu boards here, and I'm going to just go my picture-in-picture again over here, and I'm going to go back to triple sign over here. No, not triple event menu boards. Okay. Okay, so on my screen down the bottom right there, you'll see the golden goose there, and some pricing and some menu items available down there. So we can update the menu items there. We can update the description and the pricing there. We can update what quantities available and so forth there. And it's done through a CSV format. Now, the reason it's a CSV, it's very simple to create a CSV. It's very agnostic. Everybody's got an application that can read a CSV. It can be emailed to somebody. So it's really easy and quick to use. So I'll just open that up here. And so this is the format for the CSV here. So I can go through and I can change some of the descriptions in here. So I'll go, chicken drumsticks. And we'll change the price to $2.50 if it's from the tuck shop around the corner. Hot chips. I'm already thinking about lunch. $5 for those there, and then I'll just save that CSV there, and then I just take that CSV and I go back to my Quickdrop here, and I drop that CSV in there. That'll submit that, and if I click submit over here, that should update in the on that player shortly. So now that you'll see in that preview there, you should see the chicken drumsticks at $2.50 and the hot chips at $5. So somebody can quickly update their menus very simply. Again, you can give, like we did with, or like I did with the image, you can give them a link to the menu boards. You give them a link to that, and the ability just to upload their changes there. So they're not actually updating any of the imagery or any of the layout. They're just updating that. So very, very simple to use. Simple to use that. Triple choice portal editing. So I'll just click in here quickly in the portal editing. So the various portals that are available on a server here. So if I just go to the Valai portal as an example here, we can actually do portal editing, upload images to the server as well, and change options in the portal. So if I click on the options here, I can see what options are available to me. So I can choose to show things like the news links and the world clocks, and these are all links that are available on my physical display. I can choose to show them or not. I can change the theme text in there, the main colors of the text there as well. So I can change a little bit of the formatting for that content. Maybe it's a fly here. If I go to the pages, these are my compendium pages, my information pages. So I can edit these pages. So these are the portal information pages that a guest sees on their portal in their room. So I can edit the text in there and preview that and update that content. Update the images on there. So like I said, you can update the backgrounds on there. So if we wanted to change the backgrounds, then we can drop the new ones on there with their file names on there. So you can do some basic portal editing on there, the translations as well. So the various languages you can translate, you can add languages there as well. So you can generate translations for different languages, and then so you will need to supplement what it actually can generate in the translation. You'll need to add to that, but then you could have somebody sit down and go through each of the phrases that pops up in the portal and add those translations in as well. So user applications, and then your administrative applications across the bottom here. So I've already been to the Tripleplay IPTV. So this is where we tune all of our adapters in for our ingestion sources. The TripleCare client management is where we manage the device, manage our endpoints, our clients, our services in terms of IPTV channels. So if I just go to services over here, these are all my IPTV channels that are available on my network. If I go to client management here, we've got, we can see my set-top boxes in my environment. So this is good in terms of it showing the IP address, the MAC address, the serial numbers, and in some cases of the devices, which is good for reference. Locations where they're located as well. The firmware that's on them. We can actually push firmware to devices from the Tripleplay server as well. So it's powerful in terms of a management aspect. We can do things like select commands to reboot devices as well. So you can go and select the command here and reboot that device. I can re-register that device. So you can actually do a bit in terms of managing a device remotely, which is good for diagnostics. So if I actually go over to diagnostics over here and just do a set-top box overview, this shows me the devices in my network. Are they online? Are they reporting in? Have they been active in the last 45 minutes on there? Hover over them, it shows a bit of detail on them. And if I click on those there, it'll give me the client information on it and some details on it as well. So that's one way we can get to some diagnostics. And if I just go back out of here and I go to triple sign over here, we've also got diagnostics and triple sign. Diagnostics, and we can actually see our digital signage players what they currently should be playing on there, and a preview of what they're currently playing on those devices there. So this is good from a visual expert to say, okay, it should be playing this layout and it should be playing this content there, and we can see that the devices are online as well. So so really useful in terms of some early diagnostics on devices there. So whilst I'm in triple sign, we'll go through quickly through triple sign here. So triple sign is broken down into a bit of a workflow in terms of the way that you create content and deploy it. So you start off with your hierarchy, which gives you sort of a logical view of your environment or your organization. So Auckland, JPro. Auckland's the region, JPro is the office. We've got a display upstairs in the reception, and down here in the studio, I have I've got two players set up here. I can click on those devices there, and I can name them, give them a friendly name there. The device types there, the IP addresses there. We can tag devices and we can tag content so that only devices and content with the same tags will play out. So content that is tagged will only play on the player that has the same associated tag with it. We can run the devices in a couple of different modes in terms of the way that they play content. The standard, the normal operation in an environment is that the content's all streamed to the player, continuously streamed from the server to the player. We can run the players in a hybrid mode so that your high bandwidth content is actually stored locally on the player, and then your rich media like your RSS feed, weather feeds, and HTML content is updated through the server, which is useful in an environment where bandwidth may be a consideration. Or we can do fallback on there, or we can do what's called we can do triple light. Which allows you to run some content on a player, and it runs that content, only that content that resides on the player. What is it's called a sequence video. We drop a bunch of content, whether it be images, videos, playlists, layouts within a sequence video. We create a video output file from it, and that gets stored on the player, and it'll just continuously loop that content. So that is an option if you have a really low bandwidth endpoint that you want to run some content on, but it's also used as a fallback as well. So if the player loses network connectivity, you have a sequence video running on that player, and it'll switch over to that sort of backup content. It would generally be sort of like a generic type of content that's it's not seasonal, it doesn't offend anybody, it just it just says that welcome to such and such or something like that.
So your hierarchy, and then your content types available to you. So I'll just click on backgrounds, just as an example here, because we can see the file names on them. We can see a thumbnail of those images as well there, so it's useful. We can do the user group access from here as well, so that we can now we can designate who has access to work with that content, to modify that content, and who sees that content there as well. Click on update over here and change the information on that content. Live TV channels here. So these are the live TV channels that are available to me in Triple Sign. So I've created those TV channels in Triple Care and as services. I then allow them to be used in digital signage as well. So it's streaming these TV channels through to the Triple Sign software application in there. Things like your RSS feeds in there. Do text slideshows, image slideshows in there, pre-recorded video as well as in our video library over here. So this is all your pre-recorded stuff. Generally speaking, we can add an entry in here, name, descriptions in there, whether it's in a user group in there. If it's an existing video source, so that when an existing video source is something that's been already uploaded to the CMS, to Tripleplay's CMS, or I can upload a new video or PowerPoint even. So I can upload a PowerPoint and encode that as a video and have that available as a video for playback. Let's go to images here. So it's an example of the various images that we've got on the server there. So you drop your content in, and then once you've done your content, you've got your templates. So if I go to templates and go 1080p for templates, so templates are designated 720p, 1080p, 4K templates in there. And your templates are your zones, your cells where your content sits. And again, if you hover over these, you get a preview of them. If I just go update here, then I can see each of the cells. So you can actually manipulate that template. So this is where you sort of do your brand standards, set up your templates for where you're going to have the regions of your content all set up later on. So it's quite powerful. So once you've created your templates, you then move on to your layouts, and your layouts are using your templates typically. So if we go 1080p here and we hover over them again, we can see previews of them. You can actually see where they've been used as well. These layouts, what playlists have been used in. So it's really useful for being able to show where the stuff's being used. If you try and delete something or change something that is actually already part of a playlist that is being used, then it will actually prompt you to say, "Hey, this is being used. Are you sure you want to do this?" That's quite useful. Here we can add the tags into it, so that if I want this layout to only play on players, on certain players, then I tag the players, tag the layout. If I go, I'm on 1080. If I go and add a visual layout here, then I can go the geometry of that, and then I can choose the template for that. So if I go to my template, go new. And this brings me over to the visual editor. So I've gone to my layout, I've created a new layout, I've selected the template so you can see the workflow, and now it's brought me into the visual editor here. So this is your drag and drop. So if I go to the backgrounds, I can select a background from there, so I can find something that I can chuck up in the background there. And go apply there. So now I've got that there, so I can go and maybe chuck these are your content sources over on the right hand side here. So I can go and maybe chuck some live TV in over here. So I can drag and drop some live TV to that cell over there. Can maybe edit this, resize that there. I've got an empty cell over the side here, so I can maybe go chuck an image over on that one over there. So find something a bit different. I know I'm going to end up going back to, oh, we'll go with that one there. So season tickets there, that cell's not big enough for that one. There you go, we'll chuck that one in there. And then we've got this empty cell down the bottom here where I can maybe go and chuck in an RSS feed in there. So if I go to the RSS feeds over here, we can go BBC over here, chuck that in there, and then you can preview that as well. So along the top here, you've got the preview, and that'll generate that in HTML and show a preview there. Won't show the IPTV because I'm on my laptop on a different network. So I can toggle the grid lines there as well. So if I want to do a little bit more granular, I can toggle grid lines and sort of drag that around and just make sure that it's in the right areas too. And then once you finish, you just save that layout. Cool. And then you can click the previous page button over there. And it'll take you back to your layouts there. And that new layout will be there, so I can just go into the search function over on the right-hand side here and go new, and I'll see my new layout here. Okay, so once you create layouts, you then move on to your playlists. Your playlists are a collection of your layouts. There could be one layout in there, or there could be 50 layouts in there. So this is just the all playlist. So this is showing the layouts that are have been subscribed or added to this playlist. I can add more layouts to that as well. Oh, we have the top here. Go and add my new one in there. My new one in there, and I can choose the duration that'll play out for. We'll do it for 10 seconds there. Cool. So my new ones in there. And I can tag that playlist as well, so I'll only play on players with the same tag associated with them. I can add the user group so that only users in the same group have the ability to change this this playlist. You can actually drag and drop and change the order in which these are in. And then you can hit the save changes there as well. So once you've created your playlists, I don't know why that came up. Once you create your playlist, you move on to your displays. Your display groups are set up for the your zones. Say your concourse, for instance, all of your or your west side of the concourse, and you would have what you have is default playlist associated with that, and therefore all of the players that are associated with that display group play that content. So to put that into some context, so I've got the all playlist here, sorry, the all display group I should say, and if I go to the default playlist here, it shows the playlist that currently runs on that one. I think this layout here has created a bit of a quirk. I'll say that. That's better. So these are this is the default playlist. So this is the playlist that'll play continuously. It'll just loop through this indefinitely on these players here. So it shows the players that are assigned to that display group. So if I go back over here, I can then see the devices that are assigned to that group, and I can select those devices there. So when they're gold, they are part of that display, or gold orange, they're assigned to that display group. This player is not, and if they're light, then they're not. They can't be selected. So just submit that, and then we can schedule content as well to play in between. So the default playlist continues to play indefinitely, but then we might want to schedule content in there as well. Now that could be things like a live TV channel in full screen, maybe showing the 6 o'clock breakfast news. Or it could be seasonal. So I might create some layouts with things like Christmas or Easter in there, and then I can schedule those those pieces of content to play in there as well. So Wednesday, we're already up to that time there. So we'll do it on Thursday over here. So then I can go and schedule it. So if I just click somewhere in my calendar there, and maybe if I just go full screen, submit that, I can choose the start time for that content and choose the end time. So the duration of an hour, use the server for the time. I can repeat that. I can repeat it every, repeat it every day, every hour. So I can repeat it every day at the same time. And I can repeat it until, whenever I like. So I'll just repeat it there and submit that. Okay, so that time, that 11 a.m. each morning, the displays in that display group will then change their layout and they will do a full screen TV. So that might be the 11 a.m. news in this case. And we can update that that group there as well and change the name of it and so forth there. There's your display groups, your events. I've already been through the events there. Backup, so we can do backups of the of your signage data on there as well. We can do backups of databases as well from the server. We can restore data there as well. So Paul was kind enough to put a bunch of demo content on the server for me. So we uploaded that, so we can create the backup of your content. And you can include the video files in there as well. So that's backing up all of your triple sign information data, and we can restore it from a backup too, which is really useful for disaster recovery. I mentioned the diagnostics already, so we can see those players over there. If I plug one, I think it come back. I'll just unplug one and come back to that shortly. And finally, the configure over here, where we've got some back-end housekeeping there as well. So we've got about 6 minutes left, and if anybody's got any questions, I'm happy to take those now. There is so much more to the Tripleplay platform than what I've kind of talked about, what I've shown today. Would really dearly love the opportunity to come see you all if you're interested and demonstrate more. We have Tripleplay shuttles available to us for demonstration purposes. They're essentially a curated production build with content on them that we can leave them in your hands or come and demo them to you, so that you can evaluate some of the features, capabilities of Tripleplay for yourselves. It's a great way of being able to sort of just play around with it and see and get a feel for the platform. So any questions? So we got a couple of. Can you demo integration into other control systems, i.e. Control4? Thanks, Nathan. Nathan, yes, we can demonstrate integration with other control systems like Control4. Look, if it's capable of doing an HTTP request, then absolutely we can demonstrate that. We can proof of concept it as well. It is just HTTP, so there's no reason that we shouldn't be able to do that. Happy to reach out to you later, Joey, Nathan, to discuss how that's done, how we can go about that. Well, thank you, everybody. I guess if there's if nobody's got any questions, then look, please feel free to reach out. We'll follow up with just my contact details if they weren't part of the invite already. I'll share them with everybody, and if you've got any questions afterwards, then please feel free to contact us. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. Look, stay safe, look after yourselves, and yeah, hopefully you can have a beer with some of you soon. Cheers. Thanks so much.